Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, I'm happy to have you. My name is Mariana and you are back to Cross Stitch Tales. Today is the 11th of December and I'm going to start filming my second decade. Just as in the first decade, I think there are gonna be 5 projects that are going to get into my greedy hands. The first one is named Oriental Butterflies. It looks like this. The finished work will look like this. I don't have a preview because this project I kitted myself. So I had the floss, I had the canvas, and I kitted it myself. It has 26 colors. They are vibrant and beautiful like this. There's also golden metallic floss incorporated into the pattern, along with some fur from my pads. Sorry about that. I don't know if the original kit has the metallic thread or maybe it doesn't, but I decided it's gonna look a lot better like that. I am over halfway through this project. It's almost 54% done. And in this decade, I don't know how much I'm going to progress, but I think I'm gonna be working in this, the magnet. I will be working in this part. I will finish this part of the butterfly, and if I have some time left, I will move to this part. Also, I would like to show you, hold up, originally it has some letters, but I cannot make out what these letters say. That is why I decided not to stitch them. I will stitch this background. I've started it right here. Maybe the choice of the canvas color isn't the best, but I think it's still pretty noticeable, and it has kind of a subtle effect to it. I like it. This is a Ukrainian even weave. On camera it looks sandy, but in reality it is more of a light khaki color. I think it complements the pattern. So this is how it looks at the beginning of the decade, and we'll see how much I've managed to progress in a second. Hello again, it's been 10 days since that's the last time we spoke. I already see my progress. Here's some progress on the Peacock butterflies. I don't know, for some reason I was calling them Oriental butterflies, but that's probably the different kit from Dimensions, and these are Peacock butterflies, but since I kitted it myself, I can call it whatever I want. As I promised, I was working in this area. I finished this wing, but then I decided that it wasn't enough to show you, and I decided to move to this wing, to the bottom of this wing. And so now I'm around 60% through the process, so I'm getting closer to the end. Actually, I wanted to show the process in the hoops, and I just removed them because I noticed that the final part of the wing, the upper part of the wing, wasn't visible because I moved them. Initially, I started them higher up because I was moving in this area, and then I decided to move them a little bit down because I planned to do a little bit of backstitch, but I didn't get to that point. I just get to the point of 60%, and I thought that it was enough for this process. I'm going to show you a bit closer. The colors so lovely and lively and vibrant. There's a bit of golden metallic stitched into the stitches, but moving up too close, here it is. In real life it's more noticeable, especially, see here, as I'm moving the canvas, you can see a bit of bling. So I think that the progress is noticeable, and for me it's enough. It's not much. It's around 900 stitches, including backstitch. Yeah, just full stitch and backstitch, because I didn't do any half stitches. But 5% plus, I think it's a nice progress for such a small kit. I have like 6,500 crosses stitches left. So one day, soon enough, we're gonna see finish. The next piece I plan to work on this during these 10 days is going to be floral etude from Riolis, originally from Riolis. This is how the finished work is going to look like. The preview may be a bit darker than neither the preview from the app and this one, they do not show the actual colors of this process. And before we continue, some of you have been asking about the pens I'm using for gridding my canvas. I answered in one of my videos before, but I don't mind repeating it. I use such pens. You can find them on AliExpress, I suppose. For me, they usually come in kits that I order from the marketplace. They have such a thin tip, but it's not my favorite. Once I had those with a thicker tip, they were easier to get in between the flosses of the canvas, but it works alright. And what I can say is that it washes away nicely, so you don't have to worry about it. But always try if it is washing away on a piece of fabric before you do the gridding, because sometimes they may be not as reliable. The ones I'm using, I'm already confident in, that's why I do not try them out. I just start gridding and that's it. So back to the floral etude. This project is one of the oldest in this decade, because I started it back in 2023, I believe. As I start from the right bottom corner, you can see that it's not that interesting to dwell in this area because of this tablecloth and of the background. It may be some table or whatever the surface the books and the cup are on. So it was quite boring. It's stitched well because it comes in large patches of symbols, but I can't wait to move on. I already started working on the ways, and I think this time I'm going to be working in this area. So there are a few more roses and some smaller flowers. I don't know, maybe these are violets. So I'm going to be working there. This project is already over 60% through, so I don't have, it's not that much left to finish it. Over 8,000 stitches. So yeah, maybe some in a few months we will see a finish. By the way, I was wondering if you do like the statistical data, if it maybe it bores you, maybe it interests you, the progress in percentage, the progress in stitches, because I'm using various stitching apps, so that's why I can count how much I've been stitching. As you can see, the last time I took this kit into my hands was back in October, and I managed to stitch 1,600 stitches. So if you like the statistical data, because as you can see I do, just drop me a comment and tell me. And if you don't, just tell me to skip it, and I'll be sticking to maybe I'm not telling you the dimensions of the project, because honestly, whenever I hear the dimensions of the project, they don't mean much to me, because I don't have that much of a numeric imagination. It's like more, I don't know, I cannot imagine it in my mind how big it is going to be. But if someone says the size in stitches, it already makes sense to me. So tell me which way works for you. And so yeah, let's get back to stitching and see how much work we can be done during these festive preparational periods on this gorgeous floral etude. Here comes the second most stitched project in the second decade of December, which is Floral Etude by Riolis. I managed to progress this project by 7%. Considering that it isn't a small piece, it's quite a lot. In this, as I said, I'm going to be moving here. I want you to see some finished-ish objects, and I actually fulfilled my goal. I finished these two. I mean, there were a few crosses left out, so I completed it. Then I started working on the leaves, and I actually added this intricate. It looks quite intricate, the backstage, but it is so easy to do. And I finished another whole flower, another rose. It was interesting to stitch, but what I noticed, I mean, I already knew that, I've known that for a while, but you cannot and you shouldn't underestimate the magic and the power of backstitch. When I finished this rose, I mean, you could say that it is a flower because of the shape and because of the colors, but then I added in reality, just a few stitches of backstitch, a few lines of backstitch, and then it instantly transformed into a rose. You see the middle part. I mean, some of the back. I'm sorry again, shaking you. Some of the backstitch, it seems like it is quite unnecessary because it goes through the section which is done in, if not the same, then the matching color. But in real life, it also fulfills its function, so that it makes a rose a rose. So yeah, I'm already 68% through the project, and I have only 7,000 left. This is yet another project that just updates, progresses without you even noticing it. I left this because it is probably, I have two different colored flosses left, and because I could have finished them, but I didn't want to scatter too venture around the canvas. I just wanted to concentrate, to focus on one object so that you can see some noticeable result and outcome. That's why I left it here. As you can see here, I didn't continue gridding. It's not because I don't know, so skilled in stitching without gridding. I was too lazy. I just wanted to stitch more instead of spending time on gridding, because you know the Christmas is right around the corner and a lot of things piling up. So I just didn't want, even though it doesn't take much time, but it was one evening I just wanted to start stitching right away. And the process itself, the pattern is quite simple. You just add color after color, so you don't have to venture around the canvas much, so you probably don't make that many mistakes. I hope I didn't make any mistakes, but time will tell. Even if I did, I'm not that perfectionistic. That's not about me. So even if there are some mistakes, it is a flower. No one will ever see that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So how do you like my progress? I hope you do, because I certainly do. One thing swiftly I would like to mention about this pattern. It's like the contrast between this part and this vibrant bouquet is immense, but somehow it works out and it blends into a seamless and flawless and perfect and ideal and magnificent picture. Yeah. The next project I'm going to be working on during this decade I call it Oriental Splendor. I don't actually know the official name of it, because I think the original version of it is done in satin stitch, and the gold collection doesn't have in it this urn or some. I might be mistaken, but I like this version, the extended version I call it. It is so vibrant, so beautiful, and it is incredibly easy to stitch. I am already 45% through the pattern. This is the preview I have. It looks like a screenshot from the stitching app. In reality, it looks a lot more beautiful, defined. Just look at this. This project has a lot of back stitches as usual, and a lot of half stitches, a few blends. Also, it has golden metallic thread, metallic floss. I haven't started it on the original canvas because the original canvas was white. Maybe this is the original canvas. I don't actually remember because it's been a while since I started it. I started it back in 2024. Maybe it is the original Ada, but I dyed it with coffee to have so that it has those marble kind of a background. The kit, this project is almost full coverage, but it has some spare parts. I like to move logically and gradually, either up or to the side. I usually start from the right corner of the kit and move somewhere either to the left or up. I was thinking about moving up, but as I looked on the pattern, like you can see right here, it has just the background, so I don't think it's gonna be that much interesting to look at. So I may be doing a bit of background and a little of these gorgeous lilacs. By the way, I do love lilacs. And fun fact, lilac, no, I thought it doesn't grow, but it does. I remember that it does grow in Italy. So as for some statistical data, it has 39 colors. They are a bit tangled already because this is a work in process. I think I might be, if I have some time, I will braid it because I like braiding the floss so that it looks neater. So we'll see. If I have time, I might braid it. Because I don't, since I was stitching for myself, I didn't mind it being tangled because no one saw it. But now, since I'm showing it to you, I feel a little self-conscious even about those hanging floss pieces. But I don't like to secure them when I know that the pattern is going to have some more of it, or the back stitch is going to be in the picture. So we'll see how much work will be done in 10 days on this project. Do you guys wonder if I made some progress on Oriental Splendor? Wow. I certainly did. I said that we'll probably I'm gonna show you the final result. As you can see in this part, it just half stitch and it's just a part of the background. Actually, it looks a lot worse on the digital pattern than it actually looks in real life. At first, I was planning to go all the way up and find the third corner. I think yes, the third corner. But then I decided that it's gonna be a bit too boring for you to look at because it's over 2,000 stitches in this area. So it seems like not much, but in reality, it is pretty much. And that is why I was moving like this from right to left. So I did a bit of half stitches, and then I moved to stitches. I think anytime when you stitch lilacs, it just full on confetti mode. But in this case, it isn't. I don't know. I told you once, and I'm gonna say it again. There are kids that just progress whether you like it or not, but just instantly. I'm already over 50% done with this kit, and I'm so happy, and it kind of makes me worry that I'm gonna finish it a bit too fast. I know that I have a lot of kits in my collection. Well, in case you haven't seen my secret or not so secret stash, I welcome you to look through it. As you can see, yeah, as I said, there's the first one, the second one, and I was moving up to the third corner, but hasn't happened yet. I don't regret nothing. I mean, I don't regret anything. Just look at these colors. They are so easy to stitch, and one of the reasons why I like this process so much is the canvas. Because whatever they say, I mean, I can stitch on any canvas and with any floss, but whatever they say, canvas matters, because some people, I know that some people like rigid canvas, and they dislike the soft ones like even weave and stuff. I like soft canvas, not very loose, but I can stitch on anything. But this one, it came with the kit. It doesn't have any marking, so I don't know the brand. But then it was white, so I decided to dye it. I don't remember if it was coffee or tea, probably tea, but I'm not sure because it has those swift. I mean, in reality, they're a bit more noticeable, but on canvas they are like subtle, more subtler. And after the dyeing, the canvas became so pleasant. It feels like you're touching something velvet. I don't know how to explain, how to project my feelings, but I don't have any other canvas like this. I have some famous branded ones like from Zweigart and Gamma and stuff, but this one it's so far the absolute best. I don't know if it was the initial canvas, or maybe it is the dyeing that made it so soft. Maybe it was the tea or coffee. I don't know. I have here needle minder with a cup of coffee, although it doesn't relate to the theme of the project, but still I like it. And you may be wondering why I don't put my needles onto the needle minder. I do while I stitch, but then after I finish, I just like to double secure them, because I have 2 cats and a dog, and I don't want to I don't want any needle to go rogue and hurt any of them, or at that point any of my family members. So that's why after I'm done with the process in this decade, I'm done with this one, so I secure the needles for the second time. So yeah, 1300 stitches plus. A nice part of the bouquet. Well, it's not much. Maybe it's 1/10 of the bouquet is done. I did some backstitch here, or did I? No, I haven't done any backstitch, just a full stitch and half stitch. But the colors, I would say that the colors are a bit warmer in real life than they seem on camera, but either way, it's absolutely magnificent. Just look at it. I think it is so pretty. Moving on, the next project I'm going to be working on this decade is going to be Dual Flame from A.Yermakova. It is a designer pattern, and I know that Anastasia makes incredible designs, and I have a lot of her designs in my stash, but the moment I saw this one, I knew that I have to have it. I bought it like instantly. I haven't even seen many people. I mean, I haven't seen anyone stitching it, so I didn't know how it's gonna end up like, but I knew that I had to start it. So the moment I got it, I got into my floss bank. I started gathering the floss to kit the pattern. As you can see, it has 53 colors. I wouldn't say that they are pretty. I mean, some of them are quite vibrant, but some of the palette is calmer and like pastel, but the end result is going to be quite bright. And so when I ordered when I got the pattern, I just needed to know whether the floss and the design will work fine together. So I started with the face of the girl, the fire, and I'm stitching on a goblin canvas. I'm using the petite stitch or half stitch for it, because the pattern itself is very large. It's over 70,000 stitches, so it would be stuck in my processes for quite a while, and I want to see the end result quite soon. That's why I chose to shorten my stitching time. Since I started from the middle, because I couldn't wait to start it. I didn't want to grid the whole canvas to start from my favorite bottom right corner. I don't know. I might be choosing to go this way, to go up, or I may turn it upside down, and I'm going to move downwards so that I can reach my favorite bottom angle. We'll see. But in either case, it's going to be either beneath her face or here. This is the youngest project in this decade, because I started it in the winter of 2025. But I I touched it twice. For the first time I finished the face, and then I was just trying to get rid of some loose floss to be able to show it to this project to you in my whip collection. So hopefully this decade is going to bring some progress to this pattern, because it is, so far it is only not even 3% done, so fingers crossed. Well, we'll see in a second how much of my promises came to life. How much progress did this process get? Well, actually, it's probably the least updated whip that I have at the moment in this decade. Why is that? It's not because I don't like it, because I do like it, otherwise it wouldn't have been. I mean, it's not the least progressed. I have stitched 800 stitches, but this process is in petites, so you may double it, but I don't. I did a bit, I mean, it's not really visible. I stitched a bit of her hair. Why did I do that? Because I mentioned it before. I do like showing you some parts that look at least a bit finished, and here it's just a scatter of everything. But I don't like stitching in the middle. I need to go to my favorite bottom right corner. That's why I made my way all the way to the bottom and then all the way to the right. That's why the such not well noticeable progress. What can I tell you here? Unfortunately, it seems like all the stitches are black, which they aren't. I mean, the camera doesn't capture it. Maybe because it is, maybe this way is a little bit more noticeable. Sorry. Here is a blend of royal blue and mauve color, or rather maroon probably. And here the same maroon and black. Sorry, I'm accidentally touched the camera. And here it's actually black. Here it's also black and the maroon color, but because I have to move it real close for you to see the blends, otherwise the camera doesn't capture it. Maybe it's because the stitches themselves, they are petites. But anyway, I'm really satisfied with this pattern. I like the blends. I must say that the designer, Anastasia Yermakova, she's an extremely talented designer, because not are her works only beautiful to look at, they are so well thought out for stitchers, because sometimes you look at the design and you admire it and you like it, but the moment you start stitching it, you understand that it hasn't been designed with the stitcher in mind. So far, I mean, I'm not that far into the work. I've stitched only 4%, but since I finished like the half of centerpiece of this piece, I can say that it is actually very easy to stitch. It's even those like strands of hair, they are easy to do, because I have the design from Luca S, Flower Favorite, which is also done in petites. And there's also a lady with her wavy hair scattered all over the pattern, and the other kit, the other projects, the Luca S project isn't that easy to do. Maybe just because I've done just one strand of hair going from here to here. I don't know, but so far I'm satisfied, and I'm going to continue working on this project, so you're gonna see it from month to month. Well, leave your thought in comments. What do you think? Do you like projects like this? Would you stitch something like this? Because I mean, when you look at the decorative pieces of the guy and the girl, you might say that they look a bit grainy, but I don't know how else would you show that feathery texture. I don't know, so far I like it, and so I'm gonna be working somewhere here, so soon we'll see how the feathers are coming out. And one thing about petite, the half stitches, the goblin stitch, it has a tendency to smooth out all the probably uneven or a bit grainy, otherwise pixeled projects or pictures. It has that magic. So yeah, that's what I've managed to do in 10 days. The final piece I'm going to work on in the second decade, it's going to be Holiday Village from Dimensions. I'm not showing you a preview because it's pretty much self-explanatory at this point. It is almost 90% through, and who knows, maybe it's going to be a finish of second decade. I certainly plan to have it done by this upcoming Christmas, I hope. So yeah, it is almost 90%. I have like 3,000 more half stitches and back stitch combined to go through. So we'll see. Ta-da-da! Guess what? We have a finish. Yes, I kept my word, and I finished my Holiday Village from Dimensions. Hold up, maybe I'm just going to go a little like this. Yes, I finished my project, my whip from Dimensions Gold Collection. It is a it is a Holiday Village. Now the Christmas is, since the Christmas is right around the corner, everything for me is about Christmas. Everything I do, everything I think about is just Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Such a magical season. I do like the holidays. I like the Christmas, the New Year's. Maybe it's not about, I mean, it is partially about the holidays themselves, but it is also about this preparation. It's when you decorate your house, when you wrap the presents for those you love. It's such a pleasant time. It can be hectic. It is certainly filled with many tasks to do, and it can be a bit stressful, but it is that kind of positive stressful, in my opinion. When I was showing you the Floral Etude, I said that it was the second most stitched project in this decade, because the first most stitched is certainly Holiday Village. I stitched almost 4,000 stitches on this project, and it is it includes the beading, the back stitch, the half stitch, the full stitch, and blah blah blah. So I would like to draw your attention to the updates I did on this kit. Hold up, I'm going to make it closer. In case you in case you stitched, maybe you haven't, or you plan to, the original kit in my case it is an original kit. Original kit has a lot of French knots in it. I mentioned earlier that I'm not a fan of French knots, and whenever I can, I substitute them with beads. That's exactly what I did in this case. In this Christmas tree in the window, it was supposed to be red, yellow and white French knots, but I decided to substitute them with beads, and these are I would say I would call them frosty beads because they have the inside is colored with the color and the outside is just left like something stuck in ice, you know. It's like you froze a berry in ice. And then these decorative elements, I don't know how they are called, but these squares, they come with the kit, and I don't know how they are supposed to be secured, probably just with the floss. I think it wasn't enough. I found I had some remnants of Mill Hill kit, and I had these petite beads. They are like transparent, but with the rainbow effect to them, or holographic effect to them, whatever you may call it. So I decided to do that instead. So the same approach everywhere. I was customizing this kit in terms of decoration, however I liked it. I kept to the pattern. I stick to the pattern, but then also here on these roofs, they were supposed to be white French knots. I also had petite beads from remains from Mill Hill kit. It is probably called Iris. The color is Iris. Oh, and also on the horse, I decorated the horse with yellow beads, so it is more festive, in my opinion. As you can see, as a lot of I haven't had many dimension finishes so far, but I've heard people saying that because of the of how much of the work is done in back stitch, in half stitch, it gets a little bit lopsided to one side. To one side. Yeah, that happened to me, but I don't really care, don't worry about it, because I've heard that people say that you can easily fix it with when you frame the project, and I actually plan to frame it sometime soon. I actually bought the frame already. I'm not gonna be showing it to you right now. I'll show it when I actually frame it, so that it's more fun. Probably in the third decade, because I want this picture to hang on my walls during the Christmas time. So probably sometime next week I'm gonna be doing that. What can I say? I absolutely love this kit. It's been almost 6 years in my whips, because initially I started it somewhere in December of 2021, but and I already probably finished this part and maybe a bit of this chapel tower. But my problem was that I rushed to start it so fast that I put the canvas not the way it was supposed to be, and if I continued, the project itself wouldn't fit. So I had to frog it, and I had to redo this part. But I think initially I started from the center and I frogged it out, and then I started from this corner, from my favorite corner, which isn't the most interesting in the whole. process. Since I've watched so many people stitch this kit, and so many of them said that the Christmas tree was the most difficult part because of how the crosses were scattered. For me, personally, it was the most interesting part. I don't know why, I cannot actually explain it, but the movement from the bottom up, from the bottom up, it's like 2 stitches here, 3 stitches there, and all those weird zigzags. Well, you know how the patterns are designed. In case you don't, I will try to find, but I don't have it somewhere at hand, so trust me on my word. I mean, you can see here is like a few here, a few there, but they are logical. It's like they are like interconnected, but not actually links. The most boring was working with the brown colors. These blocks, whether it was the chapel or the bridge, they were the most tiresome to me. I don't know why, but it was very difficult. The sky is absolutely magical, and actually, some people say that it is an imaginary sky, that it doesn't exist in reality, but it does. Especially when the winter is like snowy and frosty, and when the sun sets, it actually colors the sky in all these beautiful rose and orange and blue and violet shades. Yes, it exists. And honestly, I finished it late at night yesterday, so it just freshly washed and pressed. And also I would like to draw your attention that I have this whole piece gridded, fully gridded, with those pens for fabric that I bought from AliExpress, and I wanted to look at the canvas. The canvas is absolutely gridless, so the pen washed away perfectly. So if you worry about that, don't. But always test the pen before you start gridding. My husband, I was showing this kit to my husband yesterday, and he said, "Oh, it's so nice. There are also mountains in the background." Believe it or not, I've never noticed the mountains in the background. I always noticed the pine trees and the road and the blah blah, but I never thought that there were mountains. What this was, in my opinion, I don't know. I've never thought about it, so who knows. But now I see the mountains in the distance clearly, and it's cool. So many details, and it's so interesting. Like, you show this pattern to different people, and different people notice different things. I mean, different element catches their attention first. For example, someone sees the snowman. Also, this little girl, which consists of maybe 10 half stitches in pink, and then you just line it with the back stitch, and you see it is a girl and a boy, or a girl and a father, or whatever. It's so amazing. It's like here, without the back stitch, these were just a few blobs on the canvas, but then you line them, and then you understand that these are people going to the chapel, to church. Also, I don't know, it might be not that interesting, but I've seen people saying that about the remains. This is all that's left, and there was a bunch of additional floss that comes with the kit. I placed them somewhere, I don't remember where. I know that people collect the original dimensions floss because they like to kit some projects that are no longer available, or which cost too much because they are rare and vintage. I'm not gonna throw these floss away, but I don't know. Yeah, probably I'll add them to my floss bank, but it's not like I'm so sad on keeping them. One thing I would like to say that some colors, I ran out of some colors completely, like this violet, and well, this one was additional, the pink one. There were a few colors. I mean, it's not like I ran out of them completely. Maybe there was a half a strand left, but I didn't decide to keep it because what's the point of it? Because you have to number it, you have to put it somewhere, attach it. I mean, I didn't want to go through all of that fuss. Maybe it's because I'm not a very careful stitcher. It's not. I don't like securing. I mean, a few stitches and then secure, a few stitches and then secure the floss. I don't mind making lines on the backside. I'm not gonna show you the backside because I am kind of ashamed of it. Because I mean, it's not that I'm ashamed, but I don't want to share it with other people. I believe that everything that you should consider is the front part, because either way, whether you stitch it and keep it in your roll, or whether you put hanging on the wall, you're gonna be enjoying the front of it. And why spend some effort? I mean, it's just my opinion, because I know that people do the perfect backside of the project, and I do admire them. I wouldn't say that I envy them, but I do admire them. I don't have that much patience. So in case you wanted to know something, I didn't want to share. And so yeah, this decade just flew. 10 days flew so fast I couldn't even notice when the time passed. And we are 5 days away from Christmas, so in case we don't meet again, I probably will be releasing some new video, because I have a new arrivals, and there's a spoiler. I'm gonna be showing some new arrivals with you. Other than that, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Spend this treasured time with your loved ones, your family, your pets, your friends, whoever you want to spend them. Or maybe you just want to be alone. That's okay for me too. I like to be alone from time to time. I think we all need that to reset our mind and stuff. So yeah, just drop a few comments below about maybe something you liked, maybe something you didn't like. What do you think about this grand finish? Do you think that it took me way too many years to finish it? Or maybe you have the same one in your collection, maybe you plan, or maybe you have some questions related to this pattern or any other pattern that I showed in the video. Just drop me a line. Other than that, like and subscribe. Return for some new updates. You are always welcome. So yeah, that's all from me. Goodbye.